Good morning. Today is Friday, 26th January 2018. I'm Ebony Brandon. These are this morning's top stories. An outbreak of measles in Antigua and Barbuda has local health authorities on high alert. Internationally, Haiti is making an international appeal for help getting clean drinking water. And in sport, Roger Federer is into the Australian Open final after Hyun Chung retires. We also have a look at the weather forecast and Carib update. Now for a look at the news developments in detail. The Ministry of Health is on high alert after reports of an outbreak of measles in a neighboring Antigua and Barbuda. Local authorities were made aware of this development on Wednesday this week and are now urging the public to be vigilant of this highly contagious disease, which is preventable through vaccination. Measles is caused by a virus and spread through coughing and sneezing. The main symptoms of measles are runny nose, high fever, coughing, and watery eyes. The trademark rash which accompanies the disease starts on the face and then spreads over the entire body, including the hands and feet. The symptoms appear between 3 to 7 days after the appearance of the first symptoms. Measles is highly infectious and can cause harm, particularly to very young children and adults. Affected persons can develop pneumonia and other serious complications. Health officials are urging persons developing symptoms that could be related to measles to visit the nearest health center or their general practitioner immediately. An appeal has been made to parents and guardians to ensure that they and their children are adequately immunized against the disease. The measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine, or MMR, is currently recommended in the National Immunization Program at 12 months and again at 18 months. Persons who are not sure of their child's vaccination status are advised to seek clarification at the health center or from their general practitioner. St. Kitts and Nevis, along with all other Caribbean and Latin American countries, were declared measles-free on September 27, 2016. And ahead of the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party's first press conference of 2018 next Wednesday, the party's leader, Right Honourable Dr. Denzil Douglas, says his organisation is committed to following through on its commitment to reorganise and begin mobilisation in anticipation of federal elections. Earlier this week, Dr. Douglas also repeated that part of this process includes the announcement of the candidates who will participate in the next election on the SKNLP ticket. The early announcement of the candidates, he continued, will ensure that the public can be fully engaged and their input taken into consideration when the task of creating policy arrives.
During this 2 year, we intend to showcase our candidates. We intend to ensure that we can solicit the views of our public with ideas that will eventually become policies. And we wanted to ensure that as we discuss and debate these ideas and policies with the general public, we would be able to develop and introduce these ideas and policies as a new government on behalf of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. We intend to ensure that these policies would address the economic doldrums that we are now seeing in our country. We would be able to reinvigorate the youth agenda that we started as the last Labour administration that ended in 2015.
In international developments this morning in Haiti, around 2 million people who live in the capital, Port-au-Prince, are appealing for help to get clean drinking water. A devastating earthquake 8 years ago wrecked sanitation systems, and temporary taps and toilets in use since then are breaking down. Many Haitians can't afford clean drinking water, so they drink contaminated water despite the threat of waterborne cholera. Charlotte Bellis has the story.
This is the only source of drinking water in the Delmas neighbourhood of Port-au-Prince. A 20-litre bucket of water costs 16 cents. Marley Blanchard is one of few Haitians who can afford the daily ritual.
We'd like to get drinking water. We'd like them to build a tank so we can get water because water's life. Without it, we can't live. We need the state to build a bathroom. There's no bathroom here.
But those who cannot afford the 16 cents for clean water come here. The water is contaminated, but they fill up their containers and drink it anyway, despite the threat from waterborne cholera. More than 500,000 Haitians have had the disease.
We need water. If the people don't have water, what will we do? This tank doesn't work. Water is health. Water is life. There are people who don't have that. When this tank worked, we had water.
It all flows back to this, Haiti's devastating earthquake in 2010. 220,000 people died and infrastructure was destroyed. International aid agencies flew in to build temporary infrastructure, including water tanks. 8 years on, they're breaking down as the wait to rebuild infrastructure drags on. Less than half of Haitians in rural areas have access to clean water, and only a quarter have a toilet.
I'm waiting for the international community and for non-profit organizations to help us. Only they can make something for us.
But the international community has been distracted by other disasters. The UN mission has pulled out and aid has dried up. Yet Haiti remains one of the poorest nations in the world.
In sport this morning, Roger Federer made it through to a record 7th Australian Open final, while South Korean Hyung Chung retired in the second set of their semi-final. The Swiss led 6-1, 5-2 when the 21-year-old Chung was forced to call it quits 3 games after being treated for a blister on his left foot. Defending champion Federer, who's 36, goes on to face Croatian 6th seed Marin Cilic in Sunday's final. The world number 2 is seeking a 6th Australian and 20th Grand Slam title. Federer was on course to take a 2-set lead just after 62 minutes when the second semi-final came to an abrupt halt. Chung's management later said the problem had developed during the tournament and they tried to ease the pain of the blister with injections, as it was much worse than just a regular blister. And now we take a look at this morning's weather forecast. Over St. Kitts and Nevis today, conditions will be partly cloudy, becoming cloudy with periods of scattered showers. Tonight will be partly cloudy with a slight chance of showers. Seas are moderate to locally rough with swells of 1.5 to 2.1 meters or 5 to 7 feet. A caution is in place for small craft operators and sea bathers. Winds are northeasterly to east-northeasterly at 9 to 16 miles per hour. The sea level pressure is 1,016 millibars or 30 inches. The sun will rise tomorrow at 6:31 a.m. and set today at 6:03 p.m. And that brings us to this morning's news developments. Now for a recap of today's top stories. Nationally, an outbreak of measles in Antigua and Barbuda has local health authorities on high alert. Internationally, Haiti is appealing to the international community for help sourcing clean drinking water. And in sport, Roger Federer is on to the Australian Open final after Hyung Chung retires. Thanks for tuning in. I've been your presenter, Ebony Brandon. Carib Update is next.